Hello YouTube, I'm back. Well guys, welcome back to my channel here on Living by the F Word. As you can see, I've gained about 10 pounds as we're self-isolating, and I have not gotten a haircut in God knows how long, and that's why I'm wearing this hat. Can I just say, this is the most I've gotten dressed up for in a very long time. So, welcome back to my channel. First of all my subscribers are probably like, bitch, where have you been? So if you're new to my channel, guys, my name is Jess. I'm a fine artist, flight attendant, and festival enthusiast, and I love F words. If you don't know what that means, basically everything that I love is an F word. As you can tell by the title of this video, this is a challenge. My top 10 EDM sets of all time. It was a challenge that was created by Vibe with Aid. So I'd like to shout her out for creating this challenge. First of all, let me do a bunch of shout outs right now in the beginning before I get into the madness of this whole list that I created. First of all, thank you so much, Emma from Raving Rainbow, for tagging me. Thank you, Tris Marie, for tagging her. Thank you, BB Hal, for tagging her. And thank you, Vibe with Aid, for tagging her. Not gonna let you guys down. I've been working on this literally for the past 3 weeks. Since this whole challenge was brought up, I started making a list. I did not do any smaller shows or anything like that because it was overwhelming to even just list all the festivals I have been to over the past few years. So just so you know, it's only large scale events and festival sets for my list. I also only picked sets that I was at from start to finish. So I saw the entire set. The reason why I did that was I have a lot of great sets that I have seen and I have memories of, but I really truly wanted to pick sets that I saw the entire set for, and also just sets that were extremely memorable in my opinion. It has taken me so long to try to put this whole thing together, so I really hope that you guys love it. Let's get into the list right now.
Oh yes, oh yes!
Number 10 is Carl Cox at Crossed Festival 2020. So this was very recent. It was just last month. It was actually the last festival I squeezed in before this entire pandemic started. And so just to give you a little history, I have seen Carl Cox he's probably one of the DJs I've seen the most of. I have seen him everywhere, guys. I have seen him at multiple Tomorrowlands, his Space Ibiza residency. I've seen him at Ultra multiple times, Brooklyn Mirage, you name it. Anywhere Carl Cox is, Electric Forest, anywhere he has ever been, I have been at his set because he is a legend. He is a legend and absolutely amazing. And so I knew I had to have one of his sets in this list, and I would say that the Crossed set was my favorite that I've been to. Such a good vibe, and it was one of the last festivals I got to go to before this all started, so it was really memorable for me, and I just loved, everyone was shredding and shuffling, and it was super sick vibe. So that is my number 10 set. My number 9 set is Monolink at Envision Festival 2018. The reason why I picked this set was because it was my first Envision that I went to, and it was my first time hearing Monolink, and when I saw this set, I got hooked on him. I started listening to all his Burning Man sets, his Fusion Festival set, like just absolutely love his entire vibe. I was with a bunch of my really good girlfriends. It was like kind of like a girls trip type of thing. It was just so good. I absolutely loved it, and that's number 9. Coming in at number 8 is Fedde Legrand's Sensation White 2012 set. Guys, this was just such an amazing experience. The production was something I had never really seen before. If you don't know what Sensation White is, it's a festival that started in Europe, and then in 2012 they brought it over to America in New York City, and it was like everyone came. Like everyone came from all over the country and all over the world, and everyone was dressed in white, and just they had these balls that would drop from the ceiling, and the stage would spin around. So like it was like this like lotus flower, and the DJs spun around, so you really never like had to move unless you wanted to. But there was like water flowing. It was just so amazing, and it was really like a point where I was like just getting into festivals, so it was an amazing experience. And I also went for free because I was talking to a guy on a dating app, and he had an extra ticket, and he was like, you know, you really seem like you're into this stuff, would you like to go? And I just remember me and all my friends were like, oh my god, like what? Like, yeah, I want to go. Just a really good experience, like getting to experience the first Sensation White in New York. So that is number 8. My number 7 set is Hoj at Disorient at Burning Man 2016. So by the way, I have searched the internet to try to find these sets and link them below in the description for you, and I couldn't find, I don't think that the Disorient set was recorded, but he did record a set from that same year at the Casbah, which I'm gonna link below. There wasn't that many people there. It was a memorable set for me because Burning Man 2016 was my first Burning Man, and it was a rough experience. Like there was a lot of bad things that happened. I honestly didn't think I would ever go back. I did, and it's been amazing ever since, but it was really a struggle, and this was a memorable set for me for sure. It was just really feel good. And I think I have footage where I got to go up and film him, and he had like, fuck yeah, written on his knuckles. good memory for me. So that is my number 7 set.
Welcome, Ultra family member, Kaskade!
Guys, this is a special set for me. Okay, I'm probably gonna go on a 10-minute tangent talking about this. Whoo, I got feels. Number 6 is Kaskade at Ultra Music Festival 2012. This was such an amazing life moment for me, and I kind of have to give you some backstory about this entire set and everything. Ultra 2012 was one of the first rave, it was the first rave festival I went to, if you don't count Dayglow. It was the first rave festival I went to. I stayed in a hostel. I met a bunch of people from all over the world, but in particular, I met 2 guys from Australia that really like catapulted me into this scene. They were the ones that taught me like, hey, you could travel on your own even though you're a female. You don't need to wait for people. Like, you know, you're doing it right now. Look at you right now. You can, you know, come to Australia. I ended up going to Australia. I ended up going to festivals and like underground shows with them over there. I actually ended up going on my first groove cruise because of Josh, who used to carry around this blow up kangaroo, and that was how you could like spot us in the crowd. And so this set at Ultra, we went all the way up to the front, and I just remember looking at the footage afterwards and I was like, oh my god, this shit was bananas. And Kaskade has been such a huge part of my entire dance music evolution, if you will. He was one of the first producers and DJs that I really got into like heavily. I loved all of his albums. I've seen Kaskade so many times, and this was amazing because we were so close up at Ultra, and it was like you just turned around and saw all the downtown, you saw all the people. The set was amazing. I don't think it's recorded anywhere because it was, and then it was taken down. So I have no idea why it's not recorded anywhere, unfortunately. But you know, since Kaskade was such a big part of my journey, I had to include him on this list, and I felt like I had to include this set because it really was one of like the best times of my life and really like kind of like hooked me into the whole festival rave scene. Everyone knows I'm obsessed with Kaskade. I interviewed him at Winter Music Conference 2014. I was like shaking interviewing him with my little GoPro rig. I went to a double header he did in Atlantic City, and I had him sign my head. He's been such a big part of like my whole like dance music experience. So that is my number 6 set. Number 5 is Roger Sanchez on Groove Cruise 2017. It was the classic Sunrise set. Oh my god, this set was so feel good. I still listen to it to this day. Straight from the start, he came out with a banger that has now been like circling around like in all the classic sets. This was such a good set.
Oh, what have I done? What happened to the morning?
just real house classics, like groovy. And it was absolutely amazing. Coming into Miami, you see downtown Miami, it just was, it was so killer, so killer. So that's my number 5.
Let us welcome Avicii.
Number 4 is Avicii at Tomorrowland Main Stage 2013. I cried listening to this set. I was in self-isolation on some layovers last month when I started putting this list together, and I started going through and listening to all these sets to try to figure out the order I should have them in, and I honestly cried listening to this set. Avicii, first of all, we all know he passed away, so, you know, that's an unfortunate thing. I was so upset when that happened. Tomorrowland 2013, that was the first Tomorrowland I went to, and I was with my sorority sister, Ariel, who was one of my best friends. I went to multiple shows with her, multiple festivals. I lived with her. She honestly is like a soulmate of mine, and so we were really debating about whether or not to go to Avicii set because, so Tomorrowland's in July, right? Ultra is in March, and that's where everyone releases their new music. And so that was the year that Avicii, who is a fucking legend, guys, and pioneer in dance music, I don't give a shit what anyone says, he created that song that had the country artist in it, Wake Me Up, and everyone booed him at Ultra because they didn't understand, like, what are you doing? You know, like, this is country, this isn't dance music. And it ended up being one of the biggest tracks of all time. And so we really were kind of like debating to go or not because we were nervous. We were kind of like, what's gonna happen? He got booed at Ultra. This is Tomorrowland. We don't want to have like a bad experience. Guys, this is one of the best sets I've ever seen. It was in my top 3 for the longest time. It was so good, and I have it down in the comments below, so, or in the description below, and you can listen to it for yourself. I'm telling you, it will bring back so many memories, the tracks that he played. But I think it was about 30 minutes in where we really realized that we had made the best decision ever. Envision Avicii, like the thing he did. Oh, rest in peace. That's my number 4. Number 3, this is the set that bumped Avicii out of my top 3, and it was recent this year. It was Gene Farris at Incorrect After Hours on Groove Cruise 2020. Guys, this set was so dirty. I need to give you some backstory about all of this. So I've been going on Groove Cruise for the past 8 years. I have seen a lot of Incorrect After Hours. If you don't know what that means, Incorrect Music is a music label that is Anthony Atala's label, and he started the After Hours on Groove Cruise. Honestly, I owe Anthony a lot as far as expanding my musical taste in dance music, because I really got into the underground this way by going to those After Hours sets. This in general was the most epic Incorrect party I have ever been to in all of 8 years. Like, I have a lot of memorable sets that I had on this list, but this entire party was fucking stank face dirty house. And it started with Doc Brown, who is absolutely so underrated, but his set started at midnight, and he like set the bar basically to the point where everyone that followed him was like, we can't fuck this up, seriously. And it just kept like, it was like no one ever went below the standard that Doc Brown set. So he started it. And then it was, I think, Lavelle Dupree came on, but then it was Danny Howard, who was Sick Nasty. Then it was Gene Farris. Then Ophia, who is Michael Woods, by the way, because I live under a rock and had no idea that he started a whole tech house in Alias, and he fucking killed it. And then it was a B2B set surprise, which ended up being Danny Howard back-to-back Anthony Atala, but Ophia also stayed, and they went till noon. So this was like a 12-hour party where it was just like fucking dirty house beats. Like, it was so good. But Gene Farris was my favorite set of all of Groove Cruise, probably. Like, it was so phenomenal. He was just dumping banger after banger, and like, it was packed out this entire party. Like, the whole entire like back after the boat was packed. It was so sick. It was absolutely just so incredible. I just love my Groove Cruise fam so much. This was just such an amazing party for 12 hours, but Gene Farris's set was so killer. So my number 2 set is Solomun The Dynamic in the Jungle at BPM Festival Mexico 2016. Guys, this set was so good. I still listen to this set to this day, and I remember it like it was yesterday. It was just such a memorable experience, and that was the first BPM I went to. I really enjoy festivals that are in exotic or cool locations. This was like in the jungle in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and it was just so sick. The link's below so you guys can listen to it, but it has always been one of my top 3 sets because it was absolutely so amazing. We are at my number 1 of my top 10 dance music sets of all time. And coming in at number 1 is Cocodrills at Incorrect After Hours Groove Cruise Los Angeles 2014. Guys, how am I gonna even explain this set to you? This has been my number one for, well, since 2014, obviously, and I have been to so many parties and so many festivals and so many sets, so the fact that it's still my most memorable and number one says a lot. I'll never forget it. They were supposed to go from 7 a.m. till 11 a.m. The backdrop was phenomenal. I'm gonna try to throw up a picture for you guys. It was like, looked like this like hazy, like mountain type. It was gorgeous. I don't even know how to explain it. The vibe was so good when they first started, but then obviously people started to fade out a little bit because they had been up, you know, all day, all night, right? And also people started getting off the boat because now we've been sailing for a day or so and people want to get off the boat, right? Not me and like 30 other people. We stayed and watched Cocodrills until 4 p.m. They spun until the next person was scheduled to spin at 4 p.m. Cocodrills ended up spinning a like 9.5 hour set. That was insano. And I was there the entire time. It was like the best, one of the best sets it is the best set I've ever seen. That's why it's my number one. It was so crazy, guys. It was so good. You could tell, like, I'm just so excited. It's not recorded anywhere. None of the incorrect sets are recorded anywhere, which is like one of those things, like, kind of gotta go, kind of gotta be there to understand what I'm saying. I remember when people came back onto the boat and they were like, they're still going? And it was like, the people that were there the whole time knew, like, okay, we just witnessed the most epic shit ever. And, God, it was so good. That's my number one. Well, guys, that concludes my top 10 favorite dance music EDM sets of all time. I need to tell you who I'm tagging in this challenge. Hello, we gotta keep it going. So first of all, you do not need to be tagged in order to complete this challenge. You can just do it on your own and you could put the hashtag in your video and then we will find it that way. But I am going to tag 5 other creators. I know a lot of people have been tagging 3. I'm gonna tag 5 just because I'm extra. So the first person I'm gonna tag is the Festival Finesser. I love Brian's videos, okay? He is an awesome guy. The music he listens to, I couldn't even tell you. I had to look up what rhythm was. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing, guys. Sorry. I mean, I'm a house techno head, so it was, I don't even listen to the music he listens to, but he is so good at editing videos. I just would absolutely love to see the footage and B-roll footage he has of some sets he's been to. I'm also gonna tag Where's Amanda? I was lucky enough to meet Amanda last year. We worked together at Electric Forest, and she has gone to a lot of festivals, just like I have, and so it really probably will be a challenge for her as well, just as challenging it was for a lot of us to put a list together. I would really love to see what she comes up with. I'm also going to tag Rave with Shay because this girl has so much energy. I've never met her before. I think she told me that she listened to the podcast I was on, Rave Culture Cast with Emma Capotis, talking about Burning Man, and she said she's been following me ever since, and she's just always tagging me in challenges, so I want to tag her in this challenge. I also want to tag Life with Aura Ash because she has been supporting my channel from the start as well, and she's extremely creative, and I just love what she comes up with, so I would love to see her top 10 sets. And the last person I'm gonna challenge is Emma Capotis, just because she has, you know, created this amazing community of festival content creators with Vibe with Aid, Ashley Gauthier, a bunch of us have all kind of come together, and so I just love to see what list she comes up with. So that is who I am tagging in this challenge. Hooray! It was really challenging to put together. It has taken me so long to come up with this list, so please give it a like if you enjoyed coming through this journey with me. Please also leave a comment below if you were at one of these sets or witnessed one of these sets. I would absolutely love to hear from you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. See ya!